1. At Jairus' house. Jairus was, of course, terribly impatient of this delay in reaching his home, so they now hastened on at quickened pace. Even before they entered the ruler's yard, one of his servants came out saying, "Trouble not the master, your daughter is dead." But Jesus seemed not to heed the servant's words, for taking with him Peter, James, and John, he turned and said to the grief-stricken father, "Fear not, only believe." When he entered the house, he found the flute players already there with the mourners, who were making an unseemly tumult. Already were the relatives engaged in weeping and wailing. And when he had put all the mourners out of the room, he went in with the father and mother and his 3 apostles. He had told the mourners that the damsel was not dead, but they laughed him to scorn. Jesus now turned to the mother, saying, "Your daughter is not dead, she is only asleep." And when the house had quieted down, Jesus, going up to where the child lay, took her by the hand and said, "Daughter, I say to you, awake and arise." And when the girl heard these words, she immediately rose up and walked across the room. And presently, after she had recovered from her daze, Jesus directed that they should give her something to eat, for she had been a long time without food. Since there was much agitation in Capernaum against Jesus, he called the family together and explained that the maiden had been in a state of coma following a long fever, and that he had merely aroused her, that he had not raised her from the dead. He likewise explained all this to his apostles, but it was futile. They all believed he had raised the little girl from the dead. What Jesus said in explanation of many of these apparent miracles had little effect on his followers. They were miracle-minded and lost no opportunity to ascribe another wonder to Jesus. Jesus and the apostles returned to Bethsaida after he had specifically charged all of them that they should tell no man. When he came out of Jairus' house, 2 blind men led by a dumb boy followed him and cried out for healing. About this time, Jesus' reputation as a healer was at its very height. Everywhere he went, the sick and the afflicted were waiting for him. The master now looked much worn, and all of his friends were becoming concerned lest he continue his work of teaching and healing to the point of actual collapse. Jesus' apostles, let alone the common people, could not understand the nature and attributes of this God-man. Neither has any subsequent generation been able to evaluate what took place on earth in the person of Jesus of Nazareth. And there never can occur an opportunity for either science or religion to check up on these remarkable events, for the simple reason that such an extraordinary situation can never again occur, either on this world or on any other world in Nebadon. Never again on any world in this entire universe will a being appear in the likeness of mortal flesh, at the same time embodying all the attributes of creative energy combined with spiritual endowments which transcend time and most other material limitations. Never before Jesus was on earth, nor since, has it been possible so directly and graphically to secure the results attendant upon the strong and living faith of mortal men and women. To repeat these phenomena, we would have to go into the immediate presence of Michael, the Creator, and find him as he was in those days, the Son of Man. Likewise, today, while his absence prevents such material manifestations, you should refrain from placing any sort of limitation on the possible exhibition of his spiritual power. Though the Master is absent as a material being, he is present as a spiritual influence in the hearts of men. By going away from the world, Jesus made it possible for his Spirit to live alongside that of his Father, which indwells the minds of all mankind.